Thursday, June the 17th. Today, this morning when I read the stories in the newspapers, I was shocked that so much money
was involved
in this, the allegations
was allegedly involved.
Yeah, involved in subsidizing the protest. 150,000 million baht, suspicious transactions, and individual cases like Thaksin's son and daughter.
So together more than 10 billion baht.
More than 10 billion baht.
Yes.
And this, after the fact that a lot of the money had been frozen by the government, and they still have, between the son and daughter, 10 billion baht.
Actually, we still don't know whether it was the money that was unfrozen after the court ruling, or whether it was the money that they already had before the court decision.
Well, we're not saying that the money was channeled through these people to the protesters, but the fact that they have that much money in and out of bank accounts already gave me a lot of reawakening. Meaning that where did all this money come from?
Right.
So, what has the government discovered so far?
The government is basically saying that a lot of things have to be investigated. This is just the first step of a lot of in the process. And Kun Panitan says this morning that this is the first time that all the involved agencies have been cooperating very well.
For the first time.
It's for the first time.
The AMLO, the Anti-Money Laundering Agency, then the CRES,
yes,
and then the DSI.
It's the first time.
They're sitting together for the first time. And now that they have the information about how all these money transactions were moved around, can they now determine whether this protest was heavily subsidized from abroad?
I think the first thing they have to do now is to summon the people named to clarify what they did with the money that they withdrew from their accounts. That would be the first step. And after that, I think it's a very long process after that. But one very interesting fact is that a few days before the May 19th, the government announced that more than 170 companies and individuals would have their transaction frozen.
Right.
And then after the crisis, this number went down to 86.
86 individuals and companies.
Which is very interesting because no public details were given as to why the number went down so drastically.
Yes.
So this raises two questions. The first question was whether it's fair to the people whose names were dropped, because they were accused earlier.
Yes.
But now they have been set free without explanation why. Would it be fair to them?
Yeah.
That's the first question.
Can they sue the government?
Can they sue the government, of
yes.
course. And the second question, a lot of skeptics may say whether something happened behind the scene or under the table.
Is this the result of heavy lobbying or not?
Yes.
And of course, the Thaksin and his supporters will say, in the beginning, in fact, it has always been a witch hunt.
Yes.
Meaning that in the beginning they were just throw out the net, and then whoever was within sight would be caught. And with some of them, they didn't have really any strong evidence.
Right.
So they were dropped.
So the big drop in the number of the accused is could lend some legitimacy to that claims.
Now, 86 of these individuals and companies will be questioned by government committees on how the transactions were effected.
Yes.
Do they have to explain every baht of the transaction?
I think the focus will be on Thaksin's children.
Yeah.
Pan Thong Tha and Pin Thong Tha, who's the girl withdrew 6 billion baht
in one day or in past
during
9 months?
turbulence, yes. And Pan Tong Tha withdrew about 4 billion baht, which is a lot of money. They had to explain what they did with the cash.
That's what is fascinating for me, because that amount of money can only be justified if there was real big business transactions.
Yes.
You do not deposit or withdraw money in billions just to pay your bills or to
we can only think of one big project involving the Shinawatra, which is Kun Thaksin plan to invest in Montenegro.
to buy hotels.
Hotels. But we don't know what money was involved in that project. But the only thing that big that we can think about is that project.
No, but even if Thaksin had bought a hotel or a few hotels in Montenegro, normally he would not take cash out of Bangkok to pay for that. He would go to a bank and say, I have this property I'm going to buy. I want to make a loan against this property. No businessman would, take out their own cash, personal cash.
And it's not easy either to take that much money out of Thailand during that period.
It has to go through a central bank. It has to go through a system, and it's not that easy. So a lot of questions remain unanswered, but it would be very, very interesting if government agencies involved would disclose more details. And we are dying to see all the details, because as taxpayers, we really would like to know how such big amount of money gets into this cycle. And I think if we don't have the answer to those questions, then we would not die in peace.